The Meus Racing Fun Haver's been hitting the gym. Check it out, we've scaled up to the 18th scale with this kit. This is the new MB18 kit from Meus Racing, built around the TRX4M, utilizing the high trail wheelbase. It's very similar aesthetically to the MB24 that was released for the SCX24 last year, but there are some key differences that have improved the layout specifically for the electronics in this thing. So in this video, I'm going to take you through the assembly process. We'll check out the finished product. We'll do some size comparisons. And then, of course, we'll hit the rocks and go have some fun. So let's jump in and check it out. Let's check out our kits and see what we got. Just like the MB24, this comes in 3 different options. We've got the white or the paintable version. We have the red, silver, and black. And we've got the green, black, and blue. And when I did my original MB24 build, I did the red and black one. So I think for this one, I'm going to do the green and black one. So let's unload our kit here before we get building. There's the body. Our nylon components. This is our nylon tubular chassis here. Hardware linkage. Looks like servo mount and steering linkage. Our instructions. We got our stickers and decal sheets featuring yours truly. Thank you, Meus Racing. Love being part of this kit. Go ahead and jump right into the install here. I think this is going to be very similar to the MB24, although I did notice right off the bat that the starting point has some different steps to it. So it looks like step number 1, we're going to assemble the front components of the chassis, then the rear. Okay, so step number 1, if you can see this, we're going to put our bumper, the kind of fog lights in the grille. We're going to attach that to this front component of the chassis with our front shock towers here. We've got a mixture of hardware here. We've got M1.4s, M2.5, so just be mindful of the hardware. It looks like we're doing the smaller hardware on the front. Right, there's step number 1. So we got the bumper, the grille mounted to the front section of the chassis here. Step 2, we're going to assemble the rear. So this one we're going to attach the shock towers and our spare tire here. All right, there's step number 2 done. Now we're going to assemble our interior by the looks of it. So we got to build this out, put our helmets and everything on. And now we're going to start assembling this to the chassis here. We're going to set the interior right on top of the front part of the chassis. Right, there we go. We're starting to take shape here on the inside. Now we're going to squeeze the cage together here. Okay, so we've got the longer pieces are going to go in the back. So this is going together really fast. And here's our virtually fully assembled tub here. It's got a nice feel to it. A little bit of flex with the nylon in there. We'll see how it is when we get everything put together. Next up, we're going to put the mounting components on the body itself. Here's our body. These 2 pieces and this, I don't know what this little, almost like a servo horn piece is, but that's on there. All right, so that's pretty much it. The next step, we're going to start assembling the actual chassis itself. So I've got to source some other components, but so far this is a nice kit here. I think I can mock this up for you guys just real quick. Look at that. Nice fitment on this. Looks really good. Well, yes, don't forget the roof. I forgot the roof. The roof's got to go on here too. Then you can see how you close your body. This is your latch right there. So when you put it down, it's going to latch on your roof piece here, which is cool. Much preferred over the Velcro on the MB24. All right, guys, check it out. Getting ready to assemble the drivetrain and the chassis here. So I'm going to do a high trail wheelbase on this, slightly extended in the rear. I got some heavy 1.2 inch beadlocks from Meus Racing. I got some straight axles that came off another TRX4M build. These are pretty built. They've got some nice heavy Treel brass front and rear. You will need a skid plate, battery tray, motor and transmission running the Endura brushed motor with the low range gear set in here. And I got the Endura 7 kilogram servos, kind of like my go-to TRX4M servo. So now I'm going to throw these all together. Oh, I'm going to be using stock shocks too, because this was all I could round up out of my parts bin. So actually, got to back this up a little bit. This kit is actually designed for the K10 and the F-150 High Trail, and that's what these extra links are. These are the extended links for the rear. They don't give you an extra drive shaft though, and I don't know if this is long enough to cause issues with the drive shaft, but this is actually set up for the High Trail wheelbase, which is perfect. Check it out, my friends. Here is the scaled up fun haver, pretty much done. I got the body all done too, but I wanted to show you guys the chassis here. So it went together really smooth. You know, this was a really simple kit to put together. There are some extra steps over the MB24, but the directions are very clear. Everything bolted up, very, very simple. Putting the chassis and everything together with the skid plate and the links, again, super simple, very slick. We've got a multitude of shock placements here. It is a little tricky to get to the shocks. As you can see, the tubular cage here is in the way a little bit. I also had to use little spacers to bump the shocks out away from the shock towers, otherwise I was getting some binding from the friction of the shock bodies there. One thing that was, and still is, significantly tricky is the battery. So it utilizes the stock battery tray, which is nice that you have that predefined location that's out of the way and down low, but it is very hard to get to. You can forget about the strap. You're not going to be able to unstrap and strap it back down like you can with stock. I put some Velcro on the tray and my battery and stuck it on with Velcro. But getting it out of here is going to be very, very difficult. You have to kind of bend the tray and really beast mode that thing out of there. It was really tricky to get in there. So you could leave it in and just charge your battery while it's on the truck. Don't really recommend that just for safety reasons. So I'm going to have to experiment with a way to get that in and out. You might be able to unbolt your interior and lift it up enough to get to it. But just something to consider. That was, and still is, pretty cumbersome there with the battery. ESC and receiver fit perfectly on the back. The wires all run to them. Very, very clean fitment. The layout of the electronics and everything is much cleaner on the MB18 than it is on the 24, which I really like. You can also see I changed the tires. I decided to go with a bigger wheel and tire set here. The other ones looked nice, but they were too small. So I went with the Enduro 1.3s with the Klingon tires on it. This is a big tire setup here, but it fits really nice on the truck. A little bit of rubbing on the chassis at full articulation there, but it's not terrible. With the body on here, so another thing they did with the body, which I appreciate, they have this almost like servo horn looking mechanism here, and what this does is it slots into this component, and then when you turn it, it locks the body. There's also these little hooks in the front. So to get the body on, you're going to slide it and put it on here, and you're going to slide it forward to lock those hooks, which work really nice. Those adhere perfectly, but I'm having trouble in the back with this latch. I have to kind of really, again, force this thing. There we go. Jeez, sounds like I'm going to break it every time. And then you can reach in there and turn the latch, which once it's on there, it works great. And the body, super solid. Again, far superior to the 24 kit with the Velcro setup in the hinge. I messed up my light bar there. It's challenging though. And then to get it off. Oh, I hope that maybe after I use it more, it'll wear in and get a little easier. It's just, oh, it feels like I'm just going to break it every time. Oh, it's getting easier already. That was much easier. But with the body on, doesn't this thing look fantastic? Great kit here. I just love how this looks. You've got kind of the Ultra 4 body setup here with the Bronco. And you see, and I think it's the shocks. If I put different shocks on here, I could slam it down a little more. But with these big tires on here, it's plenty of room, and I think they fit the character of the truck really well. I went around, I put the decals on it. Lots of customization options with the stickers and the decals. I was pretty conservative. I got a lot left if I want to put more on there, but really happy with how this truck looks. We do some size comparisons. Here it is against the MB24. It is just a scaled up version of the little one. It looks much bigger though, going from the 24 scale to the 18 scale. It's a big difference in size. Just overall mass, it's just significantly larger. But they look just like Big Brother and Little Brother here. Very cool. Here it is against the TRX4M Bronco. This little Black Betty here. Looking at it against the Bronco, it's got a much smaller look to it because this body is much more nipped and tucked and streamlined, more aggressive body here with the styling. So it looks smaller when compared to the TRX4M Bronco because it's just not as much mass with the body. Check it out with the lights on it. So I'm running the stock electronics on this. So here we are with the lights and everything on. Love the LEDs in the grill. Got the nice light bar. One thing I messed up, I put the wrong gearbox in here. It's got the stock gearing with the Enduro motor, which is a bummer because I was really hoping to get good crawling out of it, but it's still decent with that Pro motor, so I might leave it in there. And this kind of Ultra 4 style could benefit from some wheel speed. It'd be more like a trophy truck type deal. But it's functional, so why don't we take it out and go have some fun with it. On the course with the MB18, let's do the indoor course first and then we'll go outside and hit the rocks. Really wishing that I'd replace the gears with the crawler gears. But I guess the higher speed kind of meshes with the Ultra 4 nature of this kit. It'll have some wheel speed to it, plus Axel will have a lot of fun. Already noticed that I'm getting some significant binding up there with those big tires. See that rubbing hard on the body. They look good. I don't know about the practicality though. Still crawls decent with that Enduro Pro motor. It's got lots of torque. Able to utilize those stock gears pretty effectively here. Get the grip coming across the canyon. It was nice. It wants to go fast. I can feel it. Looks super cool. I love the look of this kit. Coming down into Mini Moab, we'll hit our challenge lines. Making quick work of the escalator. Stuck here though. Oh, there we go. Nice. I didn't even have to help it. I thought I was going to have to without the slow crawl there. I thought that was going to be challenging, but nice run there. Some folks have asked me recently why I don't do declines. So why don't we try coming down the chute and then we'll go up Hell's Gate. This is a steep decline. It's about 52, 53 degrees at the top there. Pretty composed on the decline. Find the line out of the hot tub, yeah. And get squared away here. There we go. Yeah, it's not able to turn sharp, binding up in the front there. Oh my gosh, man, slaying Hell's Gate. So initial runs on the indoor course, this thing is impressive. It would be an absolute crawling beast if I had the low gears in it. Those tires. I'm just bummed out those tires don't fit because they look so rad and they perform so good. Enduro, I need some smaller Klingons to fit on this. Let's see if I can make them work. Look at this thing go. Out here in the backyard with the MB18, switched out the wheels and tires because I just was not able to turn with those big ones on there. So I went to the 1.2s. Which don't look as small as I initially thought on here. They actually look pretty good now that I think the shocks and everything are starting to get settled. I'm impressed with the performance of this kit. Just cruising through the outdoor course here after crushing the indoor course as well. I think the wheelbase on this, the High Trail wheelbase, with this kit works really good. Plenty of wheel speed with that Pro motor and the stock gears. If we can rock bounce it here, let's see. I think it wants to be a rock bouncer type. Oh yeah, there we go. I think Axel's gonna have a lot of fun with this truck with the speed and the capability. Look at that, nice. Still able to crawl too if I want to, or if you want to throw down and rock bounce it, you can definitely do that as well. The ESC on this is so whiny. I had to reshoot this part of the video because my forward-facing mic on my GoPro, the ESC was so loud it was too obnoxious to watch. Go pulling to save out at the end. Alright guys, I'm having a lot of fun with this kit. It looks fantastic and performs just as good as you would imagine. Yeah, this platform is so versatile. This kit works really good in the larger scale. I'm going to keep experimenting with probably some wheels and tires, some shocks and shock placement to see what I can find for the optimal combination of aesthetics and performance with this. But for a first run, quick weekend project with this truck, I'm really impressed and I really like it. The MB24 is one of my favorite kits. I've built 3 of them thus far, and this one I think is even better because of the improvements they've made with the body mounting and the chassis kit itself. So good job, Meus Racing. I'm gonna keep having fun out here and I'll catch you guys back at the bench with my final thoughts. Alright guys, I really enjoyed this kit. It was a fun weekend project. Took about 3 hours-ish to build, and that's from complete scratch. That's from assembling all the parts, skid plate links, everything, building it from the ground up. The tub itself, the Meus Racing kit itself, took very little time, went together very well. I like that this kit retains a lot of the same great features of the MB24, but they have really improved the electronics layout, and the body mounting system is vastly improved over the MB24 design. There are still some pain points here, I feel. Accessing the battery is going to be very tricky. The body latching system, I'm still struggling a little bit, although it's gotten better. What I did end up doing is taking my body reamer and just kind of going around a little bit so that the body latch on the roof of the body here could slide in and out much easier. I like the design and the functionality of that. I'm just a little concerned about the longevity of this little plastic arm in here, but loosening that up with the body reamer seems to have helped quite a bit. As you can see, much smoother now, and it's still very solid. I did end up, as you can see, going to the smaller wheels and tires on this, adjusted my suspension to bring the ride height back down, and I think these work better. Although the Klingons looked super rad on there with the big black wheels, this seems to fit the chassis a lot more. Underneath the body and inside the cage, I think there's plenty of room if you wanted to run some different motor combinations. I've had some folks ask about the 2-speed options. I think that would definitely fit in here. If you took the interior out, you'd have a lot of room inside this tubular chassis. Not sure if you could squeeze it in there with the interior installed. So overall, I think this is another great kit from Meus Racing. Great to finally have the 18th scale version of this. A lot of bang for the buck here. It completely transforms the TRX4M for not a lot of money. I'll put the link in the description down below on where you can pick this kit up for yourself. And guys, let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think of the new MB18? And as always, I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so, and I'll see you in the next video.